Good afternoon, good evening, I should say. Welcome to Richmond High School football's Blue Water Erie Conference home opener. The Muskrats of Algonac, glad to see that they have a team again. They took a year off last year and just had a JV team. They started off this year with a victory versus Vassar. That was good to see, good for the BWAC. Unfortunately for them, didn't last long. Their starting quarterback got hurt in that game, and now they're to their backup, and they got beat pretty bad last week, got outmatched against the Elmont. The Blue Devils coming in at 1-1 as well, opened up with a victory versus St. Clair in the opening night. Pretty much had their way with them, giving up a late touchdown. It was 24-7 final. The Blue Devils went up to Croswell-Lexington last week and down 7, not playing well, down 7-0 in the first half. And then in the second half, they cut the lead to 14-10 after a Bartels 38-yard field goal. And they had momentum. And a couple plays later, Croslex scored and got the ball back, scored a late one to finish them off. Blue Devils were a little tired in that second half, and their offense stalled on some potential drives. So they're going to need to keep that offense on the field a little longer. I'm Keith Bartels. Jeff Paxton joining me tonight. Welcome, Coach.
Mr. Bartels, good to be with you again. Perfect night of football here in Michigan.
Yes, it is. Colton to kick off. I'm not sure who won the toss here. But again, it's good to have the Muskrats back. It's good for the league. Should be a, you know, put the cart before the horse, but
oh, little trickery. Wow.
Onside kick by Bartels. Recovered by Bartels. Trickeration there. I was expecting to see.
I think I was watching. Put a little Dan Campbell there from last night.
Yeah.
But gutsy call.
Well, especially because you know he can put it in the end zone.
100%. I was sitting there waiting to watch his first live boot of the year for myself.
You're seeing a team here tonight that you should beat, and you want to pin them back and make But hey, stole a possession.
Hey, hopefully they deferred and they put points on the board here to really flip the game around right off the bat.
Yeah.
First, it was a nice kick by your son. Nice recovery by him as well. So kudos to Colton.
Benetti takes off. Gains about 17 yards down to the 22-yard line of the Muskrats. Tonight at halftime, celebrating the 2003 semifinal team, lost to DeWitt 35-17. Probably one of the best teams in Richmond history. Your head coach, Miskell, a fullback on that team.
Well, a nice start, right? Move the change. I think they got Algonac on their heels right now.
Well, and I'm wondering, too, because they saw him kicking the ball through the end zone in the pregame. Did they say, okay, he's going to kick it over our heads. It's going to be a touchback. And they all started retreating.
Nobody even moved, I don't think.
Yeah. Benetti runs again there. Fumbles, goes out of bounds. Gain of about 2. So starting for the Blue Devil offense here, we got number 3, Logan Northam. Number 4, J.J. Hollister. Benetti, Anthony at quarterback. Number 5, Dominic, his brother, number 22. Joey Simmons, 35, kind of an H-back tight end type. 42, Connor Bergeron running the tailback. Aiden Durst, 50. On the line, Corey Retzlaff, 59, the center. Jared Haynes, number 71, 74, Jack Akins, and running up starter, 76, Matthew Mish. No gain on that play. Looking at the sticks, brings up 2nd and 10. Simmons in motion. There's a trap wide open for Bergeron. He's going to go in. Touchdown. Woo!
Wow, Mish just, I wish I had the replay to see that block again. Matthew Mish smoked that left side, and we could have drove a car through there.
I was going to say, I think we could have ran through their bum knees and all, right?
Yeah.
That was a big hole.
But, man, was it pretty. Nice start for Richmond.
Yeah, good to see Bergeron get in there, too. You know, his senior year. This is home opener. You know, you'll never have another home opener as a senior.
One touch, one touchdown, right? That's a good stat line.
Yeah. Kevin Nickel with the snap, Bergeron with the hold, Bartels with the kick.
Yeah, he kicked the football almost to the baseball field over there on an extra point. So now we get to see the leg.
Yeah, you know, the Algonac's going to have everybody up, and it should be the fool me once, you know, type of syndrome.
But you know, you talked about earlier about a game that Richmond should win. That's what's going to be key to the season. Winning the ones that you're supposed to win and set yourself up for the ones that are going to be the dog fights. They held tight against Croslex. Croslex got a big team. I mean, their offensive and defensive line are beasts.
Well, and the one thing, too, that, you know, I got in my notes here, you know, for the Keys is, you know, this is obviously a must-win. But the keys they need to work on is they need to work on the offense and the different plays on defense and different plays on offense that you're going to need to make when you're playing a good team.
100%.
And there's, you know, this is the game you work on those things because you can rep that in practice. You know, as an ex-coach, nothing's like game time reps.
You can't. And the beauty of that, the good thing about losing to Croslex last week. Yeah, see, they just sat back and let it go. The beauty of playing Croslex last week, and yeah, it hurt to lose to them. You're going to be a different team when you play them here later in the season.
Yep.
So now you know what you got to work on for probably your best team in the BWAC.
Tonight, you know, there's a big one tonight, Blue Water Area Conference. You got Armada hosting Croslex. You know, I don't like to do the comparison game, but that's a big game to see. Is Croslex the real deal? Armada lost a heartbreaker last week to Yale. We'll talk about that in a second. Algonac twins both sides, motion near side, running a little veer option there. Quarterback gets nothing. So last time Algonac beat Richmond was 2017. I saw those fireworks for the national anthem there at the beginning, and I hate to bring up a bitter time, but their win in 2017, they had the fireworks show on the baseball field after, and that night Algonac upset Richmond for the league championship. So it's good to see the Blue Devils come out, punch them in the mouth a little bit here to get that fireworks out of their system.
Yeah, Joey Simmons just blew up that play in the backfield there for.
He's had a good year. He's a good, smart linebacker.
He's a good kid, too.
Yes. Ball's out, rolls out of bounds at about the 20. Nice hit there. I don't know who made the stick to get the ball out of there. I'm not sure if it was Bergeron. Nice play. Now, one thing, you know,
great job by Richmond to string that play to the sideline.
Yep.
Not letting them get around the end.
The Blue Devils looking, you know, they're not young anymore. You know, you got a good core here of juniors, some seniors that are been consistent throughout the program, and some sophomores. So it's a good mix. That was open. That was not a bad play. Nicely.
Wow, Richmond got away with one there because number 7 from Algonac. I don't know how good the arm is on the quarterbacks. I know he's the backup. Their main quarterback got injured, but there was 2 receivers open.
Yes, there was. And I don't know
either one of them catch that ball.
Yeah, who the free safety was on that, but they all bit up.
They bit early. Well, the quarterback's been doing that bootleg action, and it.
Oh, that's the old rugby style.
Yeah, that's too short. You gotta let that one go. Good job letting them not getting.
Yep. Yeah.
Look, your eyes start getting real big, right? It's like
yeah.
It's like that fastball up around your chin. You know,
Yeah.
you think your eyes see it, and you want to whack it, but you're never going to get up there on that one.
No.
Humidity is a little high. That ball could be a little slick. I don't know if they're playing with the. I just think they got the leather ball out there, but
yeah,
a few drizzles on my bifocals.
This is a game, you know, that gets Richmond back in the winning record column. Some pressures on this team. Like I said, the youth is they're not youthful anymore. But after this play, I'll talk about the last 4 years and the fortunes need to turn this year. Number 77 jumping on that on the hard count. It's going to be 1st and 5, I believe.
Yeah, that's going to be from last year to this year. We got some really experienced seniors, like you said, that have put their heart and soul into the program. I'd like to see him have a really good senior year. But, you know, how does Benetti do as a junior? He's been around. It's his 3rd year now, right? It's a big, tall kid. He's gotten a little stronger, getting into himself.
Good old days weekend. Oop, tripped up there, 42 by 22.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, and it was a good block there. He just got his hand out there.
Donovan Swiczkowski.
Yeah, unfortunately, I got to mention 2020, the COVID year. You know,
yeah,
one of the worst years in history. The Blue Devils are 3 and 5. 2021, they were 4 and 6, and last year 3 and 6. This year, got to get back on that winning season. Otherwise, you're looking at the last time the Blue Devils have had 4 losing seasons in a row was the early 90s.
Yeah.
So
I like the early 90s. I'll mix up in the backfield there.
Yeah, we're not on the same page there. That's going to bring up loss on a play, maybe 1. Bring up third and a long 6. Yeah, something wasn't right there.
He turned to the left and stuck the ball out. He was by himself with a defender. Taking a second to get the play called in there.
8:40 to go, first quarter. Ball has been in the Muskrats.
They haven't tried to pass yet.
No, we have.
It's going to be the first pass.
Ran,
what do you think?
But
oh yeah, they ran the ball really successful in the first.
You're right. There wasn't a pass attempt.
He tucked it and ran.
That's going to be false start. That's going to bring up a 3rd and 1.
I would go to a delay count every time now.
Yeah. 3rd and 1. Well, this puts you in 4-down territory, right?
100%. Yeah, 100%. So that's why I throw it here. Go for a pass. If you're going to run the ball on 4th down, or you're going to go for it.
Or a 55-yard field goal. Spoken from a field goal kicker's perspective.
I'd love to see a little Benetti to Benetti action here. The whole family's in the house tonight, so all my cousins are down there.
Bergeron doing a nice job of following his backs there, or his blockers.
Jared Haynes, nice, got to the 2nd level. And Bergeron, like you said, stayed right on his hip.
That was a nice run.
Well, I guess we know the plan is run the ball.
Yeah, they were successful. They had 2 touchdown passes on 5 attempts against St. Clair. And Benetti was one of those. It was a real nice play. But I know Coach Misko, you know, he likes the spread and all that, but he's a run first guy. Wants to be able to control the line of scrimmage.
Man, Simmons had a great kick-out block there, though. It's a little like wing T action. Man, Algonac's got some big boys up front, though. Number 78's a beast.
Yeah, he's a big kid. 57's not tall, but he's a big kid, too. It's great to see them back with the team. You know, like I said, they had a JV team last year, but here comes Browning. You might think this is going to be a pass here. Browning had a nice touchdown pass, got behind the secondary of Croswell last week. Nice pass from Benetti to Browning in the second half. It's going to be delay a game or illegal substitution. Delay a game against delay game. They pointed towards Algonac. I'm not sure yet. Yeah, the other officials saying no, it's that way. Hey, he's just going to pass it anyway, right?
Yeah.
But those are the things you can't do. You want to beat the Croslexes. You want to beat the the Almonts and the Armadas. You can't do that.
And that's on Coach Misko, right? I mean, he's got a.
Yeah, and
you're taking too long to call the play. You know, they're.
Yeah, and the personnel. I mean, all your coaches, do they have responsibilities?
Yeah.
You know, does your receiver coach?
Oh, he
had more room. He would have cut right. He might have scored.
Anthony Benetti taking a slide there. Look, I get it. Why he had two guys. You don't want to take an extra hit for no reason.
Yeah, you don't.
He took that hit pretty hard over here early on the last possession.
Yeah, you don't want to take unnecessary hits.
You made a positive play out of, There has been a little pressure coming from that end, though.
Yep.
Bringing pressure from that left side.
Well, the thing with that is with Benetti's speed is
you got three guys that left, only two defenders out there.
I don't know if Algonac has a guy that can spy him.
Benetti, the keeper, gets it down inside about the 19. Brought down in there by number 7, Miles.
Good for a first down there. Gain of about 6. Bring up 1st and 10 from the 19. Obviously, if you're Algonac, you'd want to make adjustments right now and have somebody spy him. But again, I don't know if they have an athlete that can do that. No offense to Algonac. Bergeron up the middle, gain of about 11. They're calling for a timeout.
You know what I like about that, Bergeron? He's a hard north-south.
Yeah.
He's not a giant kid, but he hits that hole and he's going forward. You see, sometimes everybody's trying to get outside and worry about trying to get around and running for it. He just puts his head down, that wrestler mentality, right, and just bullnose him. I like it. Nice blocking schemes up front.
Yep. Benetti takes it around the left side. See, that just my point. The kid had the angle and couldn't get there. Benetti is fast.
He put his arm up like there was somebody, and he almost thought for a second, is there somebody behind me? The defender, he froze him just for one half a step.
Yep.
But you know what? He didn't do that last year or the year before.
You hear the helicopter going by. That's you hear the helicopter coming from the good old days this weekend. I know it's your favorite weekend. People in your backyard all week.
You know what? Last night, I think because of the rain earlier, it was the quietest Thursday in the last 3 years.
Okay.
So we got to enjoy the Detroit Lions taking down Kansas City pretty peacefully in the garage.
Did you watch it in the man shed there?
Yeah, watch it in the man shed. Might have had a few waters.
The Lions are, that Campbell's got them believing. A lot of people doubting him at first, last year, but he won 8 of 10. Now it's 8 of 11. Does a nice job. But
we've seen a lot of coaching changes in Detroit.
Oh, yeah.
And the Lions right in the last 20 years. Wasn't sure about this guy, so kudos. But, man, if you hear anybody on a hot mic, and the players want to play for the guy,
Yeah, they do.
right? And at any level, high school, college, any sport, boys, girls, you can't ask for more. The kids want to play for you, and they respect what you're doing, and they believe in them.
Another touchback by Bartels, goes about 65 yards. That's a weapon. Last week against Croswell, they kept him kept him, deep. He had one bad one, but he punted twice, a couple times. One punt was down to the 6-yard line. One was down to the 2. Against St. Clair, he had 3 out of 5 touchbacks, but the 2 had like 4.5 second hang time, so they were able to get down there and tackle him like around the 10.
But it's rare in high school football to have a kicker that can change the game. So that's an added weapon that most schools don't have.
Yep. Ball's on the ground. Recovered by Algonac. Yeah, you're right. And last year, Matty Unis, Richmond's been spoiled. You had Matty Unis the last 2-3 years. This year you got Bartels, and the only difference between the two is Matty Unis didn't punt, because he played soccer, so he didn't put time in and punt. Colton's doing both to make himself more marketable. But Matty Unis is playing soccer for Davenport. He already played in the game, made the roster. Good for him. S-Link is playing for Elma. Lucas Peters.
what a miracle from last year's home opener with his knee.
Yeah, Lucas Peters in on that, along with 55, Gage Towner. Now, this Algonac team, they're running kind of like, an option, triple option, and you lose your starting quarterback, that really hurts your ability to execute. But if they stick with it over, 2, 3, 4 years and get their personnel in there, triple option gives defensive coordinators fits.
Georgia Tech,
yeah.
Right? Georgia Tech last year had a phenomenal running game because of that.
That fade right, 28 he did have a little bit, he got a little bit behind Dominic Benetti there.
Another freshman.
Yeah. Well, see, that's in the coaching room, they'll coach him up there a little bit and say, you don't want to allow people to get behind you. Keep everything in front of you. They get behind you, they have a chance to score. You keep them in front of you. Algonac, I got our defense stopping them before they're going to move the ball 80 yards. That rugby-style kick, not a bad kick. Benetti, he's got a whole lane over here.
Let's go, Dominic. He's gone.
Dominic Benetti scores a touchdown. You saw it open up as soon as he caught it, because that rugby style, they were all flowing and rolling right. He kicked it, and as they were flowing and rolling right, you saw the C part this way, and he was able to get around that corner, get down that field. Just a freshman. Before it's all said and done, he's a good athlete.
I hope my cousin doesn't get mad, but looking at the skill set, he doesn't have the height of his older brother, but even in baseball, man, that kid he's a gifted. Both talented.
Yeah.
Dom is.
Yeah.
But yeah, but look, that's why schools like Richmond are great, places for talented athletes to get playing time sooner than they would at a bigger school.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if Dominic plays basketball, because I know he loves basketball too.
I've already put the bug in his dad's. I was talking about it pregame today because he played, I think, at St. Joseph's last year for basketball, and he is a darn good basketball player. He's a good athlete. You know, in Richmond right now on the field tonight, they have a lot of really good athletes.
Yeah, they do.
Multi-sport athletes. I'd love to see another onside kick, but you know, you got to go deep now.
That was about 68 yards.
And nice hang time for that.
Yeah, I wonder if he's going to try to get one through the uprights before the night's over. I don't know. His leg might be too sore. We're scoring a lot.
You can't ask for a better start for Richmond for their home opener, though.
No.
Good for the student section. All construction yellow vests over there, so everybody can be seen.
Yeah, he's actually a better punter than he is kicker and field goal. I mean, right now in Cole's kicking, he's ranked 10th in the country through Cole's kicking through the last showcase. And
well, maybe he gets a chance to punt sometime in the second half.
Yeah, maybe. Looking at, this is still the first quarter, running.
Look, if you're Algonac, you got to get a first down, right?
Yep. Last week the game, went pretty quick because both teams were trying to run the ball, till the second half a little bit. But both Croswell and Richmond trying to run the ball. So next week, I believe Yale's coming into town. Yale won this past weekend against Armada at Yale. It was 21-7 at halftime. Yale. Armada came back, tied it up, took the lead 28-21. With 50 seconds to go, Yale scored. You would say tied them up, but they missed the extra point. 28-27. Needed the onside kick, got it, scored with 19 seconds left to beat Armada. Armada had the game won. All they had to do was recover the onside kick. So it's going to be interesting to see how Armada responds tonight playing Croswell.
Yeah. But, we talked about the kicking game, the special teams, right? Like, Algonac never moved.
Yes, exactly.
You got to have a package to be able to recover an onside kick attempt.
Sadler gains about 5. That's probably their best offensive play so far tonight. 2nd and 5. Tonight, Good Old Days weekend. Richmond City Good Old Days Festival Committee does a great job putting on the festival. Lots of events.
Outhouse races should be about over now. That was started about 6:30. My family's over there.
And Sunday with one of the biggest band parades in the state. It's school time when you got the Armada Fair and then the Good Old Days Fair. Bergeron coming off that corner.
That was a little different set. They had two different guys in motion at, separate times, but Bergeron's really showing his skill on both sides of the ball.
I just got an update. Armada's beating Croslex 14-0 first quarter.
Maybe they're a little angry about not recovering the onside kick, like you said.
Yep. Well, and they're well coached. That Armada team, he's done a really nice job turning that program around. You never thought that would happen over there in Armada because they haven't gotten a program going in the last 25 years, 30 years, and he's done a really nice job. That's got to be a penalty, 2 in motion. That's an illegal procedure.
Yeah, I think the second guy to move took about 2 steps and realized, uh-oh.
Yes, he did. You noticed that too? He stopped. He's like,
he almost wanted to slap himself, It's like, uh-oh.
Maybe we won't get caught. Well, you got Lions playing well. Michigan certainly, they're not going to be tested probably until they play Penn State. They didn't make the schedule, but the schedule was made, 5 years ago. They didn't know what they had. It is a terrible schedule for them. I think if you ask them, they would want to make it a little tougher to get challenged so that you can get better. You want to get punched in the mouth so you can punch back. But that's a special team right now in Ann Arbor, and as a Spartan fan, I hate to say it, but I always call it like it is. It's going to be a pretty special team.
He was going.
That ball is incomplete to 21, broken up by Dominic Benetti.
Yeah, I almost thought he was taking. They had that receiver that the attempt went to, number 21.
Yep, David Clemens.
He went. I thought he was running towards the line of scrimmage when the snap happened. I thought it was another formation.
He was starting. I thought so too.
But we'll give. Look, they kudos. They're changing their game plan over there, right? They know they're not just going to be able to run the ball on them. What's going on? We missed something here.
What's the penalty against Blue Devil? I didn't see a flag. Did you?
No, I never. He must have called roughing the passer. It was a personal foul, so maybe they called roughing the passer or something. The ball was tipped before Benetti broke it up.
It wasn't pass interference.
So it was not pass interference. Plus, that wouldn't be a 15-yard. Is it a 15? Yeah, maybe it would be. But
I think it is.
It was.
Well, Algonac gets a break there. Inside handoff. No, he keeps it. Goes around the edge. 41. Nice play. Gains about 9 yards. That hurt us last week too with Epinoza from Croswell. And Gropley wore us down.
Joey Judy over there had a nice tackle for, if he didn't make the tackle, he was going in.
Yes, he was. Judy had a nice interception last week and returned it to the 38-yard line, and then, we had momentum and just couldn't move the ball.
They had nice technique on that open field tackle, too. Went low, shoulder into the hip.
Misco calling timeout here with 44 seconds to go.
Oh, you hate to have to burn them on defense, too.
Yeah, you never want those to. You're up 21-0, but you never want those to come back to haunt you. But again, what are your what personnel are you in? Are your coaches talking to the guys upstairs in the booth? Are messages getting down and relayed? I'm excited that football's back, though. I mean, it's a great time of the year. Fall football, NFL starting up. I'm not really a huge NFL guy, but I am, love college football and high school football.
You know what? The only thing I'll say about NFL is the people of Detroit they deserve.
Well, they need a championship. I mean,
of somebody. Right now,
it's bad.
We've been in a professional sport funk.
Yes, it's been one of the best history sports teams of all time. It's been a drought. Definitely been a drought.
Nice stick in there.
Yeah, 21, Clemens. Tackled by Simmons and Wilkie and Towner.
Ben Wilkie, man, if you had told me when he was a little kid, living next door going crazy, that he was going to be started defensive lineman, I would have thought, no way.
Well, I coached him in basketball when he was younger, and he started turning into, just muscular and getting stronger and a good athlete. His 8th grade year, he didn't play football, and I said, you need to play football next year as a freshman. And he came out, and that'll be the end of the first quarter. Blue Devils 21, Algonac 0. Quarterback's getting some nice runs there. I think that's going to be a first down. It is in Blue Devil territory on the 46.
Hey, we said this is what Algonac needed, though. You got to stop the momentum.
Well, you said it. They need to get something going, run that clock, and keep it respectful before it gets out of hand. 21-0, you think it's out of hand, but, these Blue Devils and the Tavanos on the sidelines aren't going to be real happy with me bringing this up, but the Blue Devils were up 21-0 against Algonac in a playoff game and lost 28-21. So, you got to play 4 quarters.
100%. But look, if you're looking at it as a true high school football fan, like you said, Algonac didn't dress a varsity team last year, right?
Right.
You want to see them keep the morale of these kids, right? The last thing you want to do is see them get so discouraged by their performance that, kids quit or don't come out next year. So it's good to see that they're not giving up. It's hard. It's hard, man. I mean, these young kids, they're not.
No, it is, and it's hard
it's
to stay up.
Good to see that they got the mental toughness to stick in there. And
yep.
Look, they got that first down on a penalty. We're not exactly sure what happened, but they took advantage of that, and they're moving the ball.
I haven't seen him yet here tonight, but I hope Glenn Noose is back for the celebration for that 2003 team. Mr. Cook on camera tonight pointed over somewhere that he is here. Good stick there by Simmons. And then a host of Blue Devils. Bergeron, Fink, Brett Mattiunas. So it is good that Coach News came back. He has, he inherited a program that was down. He was the coach of those teams in the lean 90s, turned them around into a playoff team year after year, BWAC champions year after year. Just a heck of a coach. Built the program that all these other coaches since him have been able to be a part of. Matty Unis with a nice tackle there. He's wearing a cast around his right arm. He broke it earlier in the year. Hasn't been able to play yet. I want to say he broke it the week of the scrimmage.
I don't remember anybody playing with a cast back in the day, but
yeah, I don't remember either pros, in college.
Yes.
With the big, and
big,
then they would do those head slaps like Mean Joe Green and Deacon Jones. Now, who was the cowboy that did it too? 3rd and 10, 21. Gage, Towner, and 64, Peters. It's going to be 4th and 13.
Look, since that timeout, they're going backwards, right? So it was a good defensive timeout call there by Coach Misko.
Yeah. Well, it looks like they might be going, unless he's the punter.
You're over midfield. I mean, the last punt, they
yeah, you flip the field, so why wouldn't you punt it right here? I mean, and make Richmond go 20 yards or 80 yards. No, they're setting up. Twins right and left, motion. Gains 4 yards. Judai and Peters making the stop. Blue Devils get the ball back on downs. 1st and 10 on their own 45-yard line. 9:26 to go. Second quarter. Home opener. Blue Water Area Conference second game. Blue Devils 1-1 facing the Algonac Muskrats. Last year at this time it was Detroit Prep that came in on a Saturday. Going to have timeout Algonac. I'm not sure he had the right personnel in there. So far tonight we've been updated. If it holds and continues, Armada's up on Croslex first quarter 14-0. Marine City and St. Clair are tied 7-7. Armada beat up Marine City that opening week. And then the Blue Devils beating St. Clair, and Elmont beating up Marysville. It was a good opening week for the BWAC versus the MAC.
If Armada holds off and takes out Croslex, right, this is going to be another one of those years where there's going to be 4 teams with 1 loss going into the second round of games between everybody, which makes it a lot more fun for the second half of the BWAC matchups.
Yes, it does. Benetti gives it to Dominic. Going up the middle. He's going to score.
Well,
he's fast.
He got separation for a freshman.
Yep. Took it off that left side on that jet sweep. Scores a touchdown. Showed his speed there. Blue Devils 28. Algonac, well, not yet. Blue Devils 27. Waiting the extra point.
Turn into the Benetti Bartels game here. But no, I mean overall, what a performance by Bergeron, Simmons, Hitzelberger, Judai. I mean, there's been some boys hitting. They came to play today.
Yeah, and it's done up front. You know, that offensive line is doing a nice job. Defense is doing a nice job not letting Algonac, really do much offensively.
Here's the thing. If you're Algonac, right, you just put together the longest drive of the game, time of possession of anybody so far. Richmond's been scoring quicker. They ate some clock. Don't punt the ball like maybe they should have to try and pin Richmond deep. They turn it over on downs, give Richmond a short field, and in one play, not even 30 seconds come off the clock.
Yep.
They had 7 more points. Like that, that's where Algonac's got a fairly
decent wind in Bartel's face here. See what he does. He gets it up high. It might not make it might need to drive this a little more to get a touchback.
He got it.
Still gets it. That was about 61 yards. Yep.
Hit right on the goal line.
Hit right, and in that wind.
Yeah, that was a nice boot.
That's a 5-yard difference there with that wind a little bit there. It's picking up. The rain's starting to sprinkle a little bit too.
I didn't know it was supposed to rain tonight.
I didn't know either. This is definitely a fall night.
This is Michigan for sure.
Yes.
They told us it wasn't supposed to rain, and it rains.
Well, we're not done with summer yet either. I mean, we had 90s all last week. Hot.
For the first hot week of the summer.
Yep.
Weird weather, right?
Very, very.
But now it's football. See, it can be weird now. It doesn't matter if it snows, rains, sleet.
Quarterback rolling this way, has his guy. Fink.
Fink's got to be careful. I thought they were going to throw a flag on that little push at him.
That's something they're going to have to pick out in the film session. And when he kind of got up, he kind of pushed him back down to the ground. Yeah, you're going to get an unsportsmanlike that.
It would suck because that was a beautiful tackle by Richmond in space.
Yep, and that's one of those situations where you don't, in a close game, you don't want to do that because then you're putting it into the hands of the officials to make the call or not make the call.
Yeah, if you're Richmond now, you don't want to stop the clock anymore. You want to, then to keep running, turn the ball over, get in at halftime, warm your hands a little bit.
First down there, so they're going to be able to grind out some more clock. So the last drive and so far this drive, like you said, the Muskrats changing up what they're doing a little bit. Came out with a pass there on first down, got out and flat, gained 9 yards right there. It
was successful, positive play.
Yep.
First successful pass for either team today, right?
Yeah. You are right.
Yeah, no, kudos to them. They're not giving up. They've looked better. Like I said, the biggest one was that
21's wide open in the middle. That's secondary problem there that needs to be straightened out. He was wide open.
If the ball made it to the receiver, that was going to be a problem.
Well, and you know.
But once again, nice play by Algonac, right?
Yeah. Yeah, he's had receivers open a few times, and they're just not executing. Those are the things that Richmond needs to tighten up and learn from in film session to beat those. You know, you want to go up to Croslex and beat them when you're down 14-10 with 4 minutes to go, so on and so forth. It needs to be corrected. Nice hit by Browning and Fink again. Clemens. Nice play, though. They gained 5 yards.
Yeah, 5.5 yards. So
yeah.
If you're Algonac, I'll do that. You know, if you're going to give me soft coverage, I'm just going to roll and hit the tight end.
Evan Sadler, number 12, or number 42, sorry. 12 is his year, senior. Not playing bad. 3rd down.
Algonac hasn't had any explosive plays like Richmond has that they scored on, but
Sadler keeps it. Oh, ball's on the ground.
And Sandler, the quarterback with the keeper on there.
Fell right back on it. Bounced. It kind of looks like it bounced right back up in his breadbasket.
22 Benetti, 35 Simmons. Longs on the play.
Simmons in on the play. Gains 2 maybe. 4th and 2. Well, they went for it last time. What are they going to do here? With nobody back, rugby style, kick it. I mean, but Benetti just took it to the house from 60 yards. So
I drop one back. I drop Benetti back in case they pooch kick it. He's going to punt it.
Yep.
They're going to go after it, I think.
Rugby style. That's going to go in the book as a pretty good punt.
That was nice.
Yeah, down to the 11-yard line.
They flipped the field.
Yeah.
Exactly what you talked about their last possession when they turned it over on downs there.
Well, here's where I don't know what Misko and the coaches have, up their sleeve or what they're wanting to do. But, we're going to have to be able to successfully pass the ball to beat like Croslex last week.
100%.
And convert on 3rd and 8 and so on and so forth. You're up 28-0. You still have to throw the ball here. You still got to work on it.
Right?
Yeah.
What do you want to work on? It doesn't need to be the deep bomb.
Right.
What almost like a little bit of your West Coast offense, that dink.
Yep.
The stuff, the Tom Brady stuff that would drive you crazy is watching them.
Ball's on the ground. Algonac's got it.
It's going to be a 1st and goal. Wow, if you're Algonac, that is that you just.
That's that can't happen.
No.
You gotta.
I don't know if I couldn't tell if was it a handoff exchange or was it the actual snap?
No, it was either during the exchange or just after. See that's the little stuff that you gotta correct. But yeah,
you need it, and if you're going to make those mistakes, you need to make it today and not, last week against the Croslex.
Yep, you got to watch the film and correct it, and then you have to be disciplined and on them in practice about perfection. 24 takes it up the middle, nothing doing, maybe a half a yard.
I would have rolled to the left and passed. I would have done that little bootleg to the left, go to the long side of the field, and
Blake Courier, Matty Unis on the tackle. The thing there too, we were talking before that fumble to give them the ball, and that's why you punt it, right?
That's why. Look, it was a beautiful punt, right? The first punt of it's their 3rd punt. Richmond hasn't punted yet, but
no gain on the play.
The first really nice punt. But you know what? They were kicking against the wind in the first quarter, so did that. That makes.
But you're up 28.
It makes Colton's kickoff even that much more impressive if that's the case. But the wind affecting the punts like it did in that first quarter, maybe.
Nice play.
Reverse.
He's going to call him down on the 1.5-yard line. I think he was.
I think that was fair. I think he was reaching. I think his elbow hit, like last night in the Lions game, right? That was a legit ground caused a fumble.
Yep. Third.
But that was a nice play.
Yep, 3rd and goal from the 2. So
Algonac is running. They're running a bigger bag of plays than Richmond.
So
that I like about them. I like their play calls.
You'll remember this. Loved Bo Schembacher, big Michigan fan when I was a kid. Would beat up on the Big Ten, run the ball, all the good quarterbacks and running backs. But then he'd get in the bowl game and he'd have to pass. When he was up big on teams, he would never work on the pass. You got to be able to get that done in a game situation for when you need it. He had number 2 wide open.
Yeah. That little bit of pressure in his face.
Now, let's see, is he going to kick a field goal?
Connor Bergeron was coming off that corner. You got to put points on the board here. You got to try and take your – if your field goal kicker can kick.
I was watching the warm-ups a little bit. They got a kicker that can –
But you want to put points. Doesn't it put some points on going into halftime?
He's going to call timeout.
Is he going to take his last timeout?
Timeout on the field.
Yep.
No, but I totally agree. Look, this is the time to work on the pass. Like I said, you don't need to do the home run. You don't need to show all the trick plays on film for whoever you're playing later. But what the better, not only do you want to practice them, but when Yale looks at the game tape from tonight to get prepared for us next week,
you got to give them something else.
Don't you want to? Hey, otherwise, if this is the case, like obviously Richmond knew, their starting quarterback is out. They're on the backup. He's done a pretty good job so far running the ball. Arm strength might be the biggest thing. I don't know, but you've got to give him something else. You need to make sure that.
And you can pass the ball, like you said, without running it up.
Yeah,
you don't have to do reverses and flea flickers and all bombs. And,
just dinking it to the flat, right?
Using the short passing game as an extension of your running game.
They used
when
to
you need it.
Heffelberger over the middle all the time when he was here a couple years ago, right? So like those little get in front of the linebackers.
And you want to build confidence in your receivers.
No, 100%. Look, you need to start practicing catching the ball when it's not super warm outside, right?
42 steps back, he throws it to the corner of the end zone. Incomplete. Again, proud of Algonac for being here tonight and having a game and blah blah blah. But
we're still pinned deep.
Two straight passes. It's 4th and 2.
Especially when the reverse, the first 2 runs on that,
right?
Gotcha. Almost to the end zone.
They've been getting positive yards. Well, you don't want to fumble here. Backed up to your 2. Now, here would be a great place. I know it's tricky. You're up 28-0. You're not going to lose this game, right? Give your quarterback confidence they can throw out of the end zone.
100%. Yeah, you don't want to be in.
You don't want to be 10-10 with 2 minutes to go playing in the playoffs.
Because they don't think it's going to pass. They're going.
Timeout on the field, Richmond.
Timeout, Richmond. Was that our second one? 3rd.
I think it's our second.
So we have
first
one
on
more.
Defense. But come on, you're up 28-0. You take a timeout now? Well, he didn't like something. It looked like they were bringing pressure up the middle.
Yeah, they were. They looked like it. They might have backed out of it, but they were. And he might have had a play called into it. But I would hope.
But if you're Benetti, you just take off to the right side.
What I would hope is you have your 3-year quarterback, right?
Yep.
He should be able to call out of that, right?
Yeah, look, Misko wants to, preserve no turnovers, right? You turn the ball over, defense held, they had a 1st and goal, went for it 4 times, all 4 downs, turn the ball over at the 2.
Just got an update that Croslex has cut into that lead a little bit. It's halftime. Armada 14, Croslex 13. Benetti in the end zone, hands off to Bergeron.
Nice tough run.
Gain of about 6.
So I wonder if Croslex missed the extra point.
Looks like it's being
Right.
at about the 7-yard
Right.
line. So a gain of 5 on it. 2 and 5 now. Ball spotted at the Blue Devil.
Look, that's the
7-yard line.
beauty of the kicker. If you know that you're not worried about the every time your kicker goes to kick the ball that you're praying it goes in.
Right.
Versus, look, everyone's going to make a mistake every once in a while.
Right.
That's to be expected. But
Benetti 2nd and 5. It's going to be encroachment at 57 on that hard count again. That's probably going to give him a first down or just short.
he didn't do that last year, right?
Right.
We jumped too many times last year. So kudos. If you can't beat them, join them. But hopefully that just shows the maturity of Benetti. Especially when you're pinned deep like that, right? That's beautiful.
Right, and your O-line to have the discipline not to go. They did make a mistake.
That was a beautiful wide open hole there.
About 13 yards, get it to about the 25-yard line. Yeah, the offensive line's doing a nice job in there. You got
And they're not running to the edge, man. They're running right up the gut.
Jared Haynes in there. You got Durst. You got
I just don't like
Akins.
when they have Benetti come to the sideline to catch the play. It takes too much time. Send the
Nish.
receiver in. No, they've done the offensive line has done a phenomenal job.
Retzloff at center.
In the trenches.
Can hear the motorcycle races or quad races or something up there. Algonac sniffed out that one from Dominic Benetti. They're like, you got that first one. We're going to sniff this one out for about 6-yard loss.
David Clemens there. Nice play by Algonac.
Yep, good defensive play.
So a loss on the play of about 6. So
Next
Look, to be
year,
honest with you, like I said, Algonac really hasn't played horrible.
no. Could you imagine next year, though, or if we were in Algonac tonight? I know it's cold, but the swamp with the mosquitoes this year,
Oh, man.
mosquitoes have been horrible. 1:38 to go. Blue Devils 28, Algonac 0. Benetti hard counting, trying to get some of that back. Drops back to pass.
Nice protection.
Benetti to Dominic. Dominic kept running. That was a good route. That's going to, it looks like a, says the 80, looks like an 85-yard touchdown pass in the books. It's like that that ground ball up the middle that's not hit real hard. It wasn't the best pass in the world, but it looks like an 85-yard touchdown line drive in the book.
First, Algonac brought pressure.
Yep.
They brought everybody, left it man-to-man. Offensive line did a phenomenal job picking up the pressure. Otherwise, Benetti, he still had a roll to his left, but he had to buy time, in the pocket to slip over there. It wasn't but he was on his move. And, man, Dominic did a good job.
Yeah. Oh, he kept
reacting
running.
to that. He reacted to the ball, and then, man, he's quick. He caught that ball, and he planted his right foot and took off and separated.
Yeah, he kept running. And that's one of those situations where a lot of times your receivers should stop running, right? He kept running. So, again, you got Yale coming in next week, so you're building some momentum after, playing a tough game last week for 3 quarters. Got worn down a little bit.
Is that Dominic's 3rd touchdown in the first half?
Yeah.
Jeez, oh, man.
Brother's going to start throwing it in the dirt. Don't want to give him 4.
Yeah, he's going to start throwing to somebody else. Calling audibles.
Well, one was the nice run-off tackle. It hit the seam a go, and the other was the punt return for a touchdown.
Well, the thing is, you have Bergeron. It's just you need a yard. You hand it to Bergeron, he's getting you a yard. There could be 3. He's going to put his head down on 2 or 3 guys, and he's going forward. He's the power runner. But then he has a little bit of the separation speed.
1:17 to go, 35-0. So when we start that second half after the kickoff, it will be a running clock.
But, we talked about practicing. Look, it was good to see him to come out in the pass. This, like you said, this is a perfect time. Let him go.
What? Excellent onside kick, but why? I don't know why we're doing that.
Flag after the play, though. That's not going to affect the.
Yeah, I think it is. I think they're going to come up with some. I don't like that call. Up 35-0. Illegal touching. He was past the 50.
Yeah, he was way past 50. He was he was probably to the 45.
He was way past the 50. Not even close. It was like the 46.
Yeah, he was. I said he was way, almost to the 45.
That wasn't even close. That's a bad call.
Maybe the football powers that be heard you not liking the onside kick. And they tossed it. And it was a late flag.
Well,
I thought they were calling Benetti first for going on the field too early or something, but I'm like, the play's over with.
Yeah, again, I don't like that call.
No, but you practiced it. My thing is, you were successful with the first one right up the middle when Colton recovered his own onside kick, right? That was perfect.
Right.
Why show somebody this on film? That was perfect. That was another good one. He kicked it right to his teammate. You know what I mean?
Looked like it was a sideline infraction against the Blue Devils where they ran out of bounds, come in, pick the ball off. There was an infraction.
Are they saying he ran out of bounds and came back and touched it?
No, he was just saying illegal touching. See, that's the only thing that Buzz thought it could be, because Buzz is dumbfounded because it was hit on the 46-yard line, 45-yard line. So Buzz is like, that's had to have been illegal touching because you can't be the first one to touch it.
After you go out of bounds.
But that's
he was close.
Yeah, but that's not what he called, because he called it illegal touching, meaning it didn't travel 50 yards or 10 yards. Either way, I think that's an official trying to keep the game closer than what it is. But
no, I agree. You know, you look at the scoreboard. Richmond has been dominant. But I don't think that. I think Algonac has played better than the score.
I would agree. Big fella.
That's a big boy running it.
35-yard gain there by 34.
Reed hit Tunin. Hitting. He's only a junior. It's a big boy, man.
He was rumbling and stumbling.
That's his first touch of the night, I think.
Nice play.
And he ran into the quarterback, and I thought they almost fumbled the exchange. But that little delay got him around.
Luke Pastushin picks it off. He's fast. Oh, that should have been a
clock hitting the back.
Yeah, on them. Nice play by Pastushin there.
Another one where it's just, and maybe that's at the quarterback the deal, just a little underthrown. You got to throw that to the outside shoulder. If your guy doesn't get it, nobody does.
Absolutely. It was too far up the field and inside. Well, I hate to get on my bandwagon of sportsmanship here, but you take a knee here.
100%. I don't even understand why they're huddling up.
And we just called a timeout.
The sad point is this is what leads, coaches making decisions that can be viewed differently by people as poor sportsmanship, good sports, whatever it is.
Well, I'm not saying you don't want to fall on the wrong side of the sports karma.
No, no, that's But
Yeah.
the last thing you want to see is the kids end up taking this coach's decision into the game, and you see somebody make something dumb play
cheap
later.
shot.
Yeah,
Yep.
because they're frustrated. Look,
Right.
if I'm Algonac, this ticks me off right here. First, that onside kick, the second onside kick attempt, the one starting the game, brilliant.
Right, yep.
This one, when you're up 35-0, I agree with you. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
It's not like you put your backup kicker in and you let him try one. You know what I mean? Like,
right. And you're talking about a team that just coming back. I'm hoping we take a knee here. Benetti dropping back to pass. And see now, all right, I'm glad he was able to get out of bounds, but say he gets lit up there.
wow.
So Blue Devils 35, Algonac nothing. Blue Devils, all Blue Devils.
Wow, crazy first half.
As the players leave the field for both teams.
So, yes, we got the presentation at halftime here, and we have the 2003 team and our band led by Miss Molly Shack, fantastic band director, and does a very nice job with the band. We'll be back after this.
Spectacular season. Pound for pound, they were the best around, from the linemen to the backs, from the offense to the special teams to the defense. Doing what needed to be done on the football field and being led by a tremendous coaching staff. The team compiled a record of 12-0, earning a league championship, district championship, and a regional championship before falling to DeWitt 17-35 in the semifinals. The 12 wins still stand as a school record for wins in a single season, and their 413 points scored sits second all-time in school history. I will introduce you to the entire roster. Those that are present, just raise your hand, let us know who you are when I give it. Hopefully you'll remember who your name is. Roster, number 2, Jerry Bean. Number 3, Tony Schweiger. Number 4, Kyle Brawl. Number 5, Travis Peterkowski. Number 7, Mark Schwartz. Number 10, Jay Montrose. Number 11, Donnie Kidman. Number 12, Mitch Scheuer. Number 21, Ricky Ziemer. Number 22, Kevin Kraus. Number 24, Louis Iannatelli. Number 32, Tim Kaminsky. Number 42, John Warren. Number 43, Sean Misko. Number 55, Tommy Lane. Number 58, Jeff Boyce. Number 63, Chad Zinkus. Number 65, Charlie Penrod. Number 67, Jeff Orkins. Number 68, Brian Grabowski. Number 72, Brian Worth. Number 74, Chad Nickelharji. Number 75, Daniel LaCroix. Number 76, Jamie Patash. Number 81, Kenny Mazzolo. And number 84, Nate Weirgau. The coaching staff that led these people. Assistant coaches, Clint Davis, Dave Pinsky, Mark Ladd could not be here, and their head coach, Glenn Noose. Give these people a big round of applause on a spectacular season that they had. The Richmond High School Marching Band will round this out by playing a round of the fight song, the same song that this team played and sung 12 times in 2003. Thank you very much. Now on the field is the 2023-2024 Richmond High School Blue Devil Marching Band. The band is under the direction of Miss Molly Shack and the student leadership of drum majors, seniors Alex Dasuke and Angela Mosher, and color guard captain, junior Hannah Robinson. Drum major, is the band ready?
See, this is my opinion. It's not. There should be, in my opinion, it should be done. Obviously, it should have unwritten rules, some rules.
You may take the field for tonight's halftime performance.
You should at least go up to, let's say,
Music is often associated with feelings and emotions, but today we are seeing music in color. The Richmond High School Marching Band will take you on a kaleidoscope of sound with their show, The Colors of Music. We open the show with the color red. 99 Luftballons is a song by the German band Nina from their 1983 self-titled album. An English language version titled 99 Red Balloons was also released on the album 99 Luftballons in 1984. Featuring trumpet soloist senior Austin Morelli, here's 99 Red Balloons. Continue our show by featuring the color green in a selection that is considered one of the most popular instrumental rock and soul songs ever. Originally released in 1962 by Booker T and the MGs, this hit peaked on the top 100 Billboard charts at number 3. Enjoy the Blue Devil Marching Band version of the iconic Green Onions. never as striking as the ones found in a rainbow following a storm. For as long as there have been rainbows, there have been dreamers who have been wondering what's on the other side of these awe-inspiring phenomenon. Featuring mellophone soloist junior Jalen Joswiak and color guard junior Hannah Robinson, we share all of the colors of the rainbow with you in our next selection, The Wizard of Oz, Over the Rainbow.
It was sick. And I think when we were getting seats for years and years and years, this was That's beautiful. It was sweet. I cried because it was just it was sick.
To close out our 2023 The Colors of Music show, the Richmond Blue Devil Marching Band will pay tribute to our most favorite color, blue. Whether you know this timeless selection from Guardians of the Galaxy, Megamind, or other Hollywood blockbusters, please enjoy our rendition of the 1977 Electric Light Orchestra classic, Mr. Blue Sky, and Go Blue.
It was around 35 and less than the 30-yard line on our main side, and he was, I think, on the left side. Because he was the man, too. I remember
All right, let's hear it one more time for the Richmond Marching Band. And mark your calendars for the first full weekend of October as the band boosters host their annual pumpkin sale and craft sale outside of Richmond High School. Look for the band in the goal.
Okay, we're coming back to the second half here. Blue Devils, all Blue Devils, 35-0. Freshman Dominic Benetti having a great day. Returned a punt for a touchdown, a run for a touchdown, and caught a pass from his brother for a touchdown. Great debut.
It's like the hat trick.
Yeah, kid's got a great future ahead of him. You got, as good as it is, I'm sure family will keep him hungry. You got to stay hungry, keep working. Luke Pastushin had a nice interception. Bergeron doing a nice job of running between tackles. Nice, strong, hard running. Simmons having a field day.
Joey Simmons doing a really strong first half.
At linebacker.
Overall, a solid performance. Fink had a couple good hits.
There's their little pooch kick. Good move by Benetti. Still on his feet.
Wow, tough run.
Yep, tough run. The important thing there is you saw he kept his feet churning.
So if I'm Algonac and you see that the guy that torched you for 3 touchdowns in the first half is in there,
If he would've returned that.
once you kick the other side.
Yeah, up 35-0. You got a long season ahead of you. You got.
I like the pooch kick though.
Yep. It wasn't bad. You got a long season ahead of you. See, wouldn't be surprised. You got a running clock now. See the bench clear because,
I hope so.
You got Yale next week, who's a power. You got Benetti up the middle. You got a North Branch team that's always going to be tough. And Armada and Almont, those 4 schools you still have left on your schedule. And
There's still a lot of BWAC pride, right? I mean, it's like Michigan State. Michigan State doesn't have to have their best program ever to be ready to play hard against Michigan this year.
Right.
It's gonna be a slugfest.
Bergeron
Beautiful.
off the right side.
He sees a hole and he goes north.
Yeah, and he wasn't touched until he was past 12 yards.
He takes 0 wasted steps. That's what I love about him.
Number 42, Sadler. First and 10, Richmond ball at the 15-yard line of the Muskrats.
Wouldn't be surprised to see him get Hitzelberger in there, get some carries.
Look, you're in 4-down territory here if you're Richmond, right? The clock's running. Now work on your dink-dunk pass.
For
like
when
you said,
need it,
for
yep.
when you need it. You need a 2-point conversion. What are you going to run when you're at the 2?
Croslex is up on Yale now, 27-14. Kind of taken over in the second half. Hollister, touchdown.
Nice play.
Yep. Hollister has speed.
And nice touch. Hollister got to his point early, but kept his feet moving to adjust to the ball.
Right. See now that I have no problem whatsoever with that. To me, you got to know that you can go to that play.
100%. That was you're up big.
Yep.
Do something.
You still got to play. I mean, that's not running it up at all. That's working.
There's a kick into the parking lot.
Almost.
And the extra point try is good. So at the 8:50 mark of the second quarter, it is Richmond 42, Algonac 0.
Wow. Well, it's just what we talked about with that onside kick and Richmond stealing that first possession.
Yeah, it definitely set the tone.
Scoring quick in the beginning of both halves.
I did ask at halftime what they called, and they called 2 penalties, and both are wrong. They said that the kicking team can't catch the ball before it hits the ground. False.
As long as it travels 10 yards, it can.
Exactly. And then the second thing they said is you can't that and you have to allow them to catch the ball.
Why? It's an onside kick.
Exactly. Unless they fair catch.
Yes.
Unless they fair catch.
I've never seen a fair catch on
a pooch that goes too far. I've seen it.
On a pooch, but if he kicks the ball off the stand and it hits the ground, you can't call a fair catch.
No, then it's like
it's not in the air.
It's not in the air.
Even though if that takes a big hop.
That's going to be short. Probably told him to kick it short.
I think that was purposely.
They take it out to the 25.
And their number 7, D'Angelo picked that off at about the 9-yard line, brought it out to around that 25-yard line before he brought down by number 11.
Yeah, probably tried to get it down there and wanted him to return.
Peter's a little slow to get up there. We'll see how there he is coming, limping off. They got a sub in there for him. This is exactly what you don't want.
Now, do I realize you want you want a shutout, but not at the expense of injuries.
You want a shutout, but and this not to be facetious, but once again, why don't you have Colton kick to the back so nobody has to take a hit?
Agreed. Yeah.
Right. I would even freeze. Have the guys run. Tell them, look, we're not. Nice pitch.
Fink and Judai.
And number 1, Fink.
53 there. Romaine for Algonac got away with one there. Little cheap shot on Ben Wilkie. Ben did a good job of not losing his patience, but.
And see, that's what you don't want to happen. You don't want a cheap shot, in the leg or in the knee and you get hurt.
He wrapped around Wilkie's leg and didn't let go. Ben was nice, kind of pushing on his shoulder, trying to pull his leg out and put his hand up in there like, hey, what's going on? Nobody saw it. They were away from the play. But Ben pancake blocked him, and the guy was mad, so I get that.
Yeah. Fumble, ball on the ground. Algonac offensive line at the quarterback's trying to pick it up. But Muskrat lineman got on it. Bring up 3rd and 15. 5 and 20 to go. The running clock rule, the clock stops only on tips, and that's timeouts, injuries, penalties, and scores. TIPS, tips. Timeouts, injuries, penalties, and scores. The only time the clock stops.
Hopefully we don't see any of those in the second half.
Yeah, no.
Get out of here as quick as we can.
Yep.
Looks like we have another quarterback warming up. Potentially.
Judai almost had another interception.
And he got big eyes there, man. Just missed it.
Yep.
Did a good job. He was in spot, reacted to the quarterback well. Look, these Algonac receivers are doing a pretty good job getting open. They just can't get the ball to him. He was behind Judai.
Back to Clark Sadler. Deep for Richmond, 22.
Tries Lex 30.
22 and 4.
4 to 21 now. Nice punt.
Hey, that little rugby kick's done well for them with the wind at their back.
Yes, it has.
That's his second really nice punt.
Takes a nice roll.
Hey, you know what? Smart. Dominic Benetti just let it go, right?
Yep.
Why take an extra
Well,
hit?
exactly. In this game, yeah. Against, in the future, in a game in a couple weeks, you get that, and if you don't have anything, you just down it or whatever. Save yourself 15 yards.
Out at Golden Oak Golf Course. 125 per person, $75 to
Hollister near side. Benetti in the slot.
Quarterback change.
Northam. You got Hitzelberger behind Bartels. Hitzelberger up the middle, gains 5.
Hitzelberger right up the middle, gets it close to that 30-yard line, brought down out there by number 66, Wegener.
Yeah, Colton's going to be like, all these kicks on my right leg, and now I got to run back and forth to get these plays in. Nice halftime ceremony for the 2003 12-1 football team.
Man, a lot of accolades that still stand.
Yes.
Most points scored, most wins in a season.
Oh, they gave them to the 6-yard line that 2nd and 4. Nice
Nice
cut. Way to lower that shoulder there for Hitzelberger.
I'll tell you what, though, way to come up and take a stick, because Hitzelberger had some momentum.
Yes, he did. Well, that's tough. I mean, playing that strong safety position, those running backs who are usually solid muscle, right? And they break through that past the linebackers, and they're coming at you full speed. You've been chopping
100%.
your feet, and you got to come stick them.
And we were doing a defensive back sideline drill my junior year of high school, and the guy decided not to cut back. He decided to go through me, and that took a helmet to the face mask. It's my first concussion that I know of.
Another nice hard run there. Yeah, that you know of.
But back then, I saw stars and fell down and jumped. What are you doing? And I get back in line. Let's go.
Yeah, that's happened to me too. Or my buddies had to hold me up in the huddle, seeing stars. It's like, just hold me up. I'll be okay.
And you were good back in our day, and we were dating ourselves. As long as you weren't throwing up
Yeah.
from the hit, you were okay.
Yeah, and those helmets were heavy. These helmets today are light and have like so much good cushion.
Remember the first 3 days of wearing a helmet when you in summer practice, like you felt like your head was broken.
Oh, awful. Well, you got a sore neck because they were so darn heavy.
You know what's beautiful right here with the handoffs, nice and clean, right? This is what you want to see, right? Worst case scenario, someone's got to be able to step up and do the other's job, and everybody getting some reps.
Yeah, you never know. You never
Right?
know next man. I mean, look at, and I know this is going to bother you, but look at Ohio State. The year they won the national championship, beat Alabama in the national championship. Their first-string quarterback, Barrett, got hurt in the Michigan game. Their second-string quarterback got hurt in, I think, the playoff game. And they ended up winning with the third-string quarterback, won a national title. And you just never know. I forget his name, too. He didn't last very long in the pros. He's the one that said,
oh, you got to be kidding me.
he's the one that said, I didn't go to Ohio State to play school.
Yeah.
I can't remember who that was.
Why do you take a timeout here?
Yeah, you just let the clock run out because you weren't going to get a delay a game. 14 seconds, 2nd and 10. You just tell
I
you.
guess that's why we're up here and we're not on the coaching side down there. But I just, in my mind, you have no epic collapse is going to cost you this game. Get your kids into the locker room and home as soon as possible.
Yep, on Good Old Days weekend. Always a big weekend here, city of Richmond, the parade.
It's a great time to be in Richmond.
Yep, it's a great festival put on by Matt Ricks and his committee.
You mentioned the mosquitoes this year. He did say something in the opening ceremony yesterday about hoping that the cooler weather kills about 200 million mosquitoes in town.
Yeah, I don't know if it's that cold.
But they have been ferocious.
Here's Nickel coming over after a timeout, still in the wrong set here.
There it is. Nice pass.
Bartell's pass intended out there for Hollister goes incomplete.
I think Hollister lost it in the lights.
Yeah, he didn't look like, because usually he goes for that.
I don't think he saw it.
In the third quarter, with Richmond 42.
Oh, you know, you got third here, 3rd and 10. What do you do?
But look, I don't like the timeout there at the end of that third quarter.
Right.
But the pass is good. Colton's got to get some reps in him.
Oh, I agree.
Right? And the timing was there. So
I agree. I'm going to give you a great Lou Holtz story. I got his book. He's signed by Lou Holtz, actually, Wins, Losses, and Lessons, and it's just a fantastic book about life. And he was coaching for William and Mary at the time, and he went up against West Virginia, and the coach for West Virginia was, who was the guy at Florida State?
Bobby Bowden.
Bobby Bowden. So West Virginia's Bobby Bowden, and he's at William and Mary, and he beat William and Mary 65-0. He wasn't trying to run it up, but he was working on his game, right? So he says he kind of got into it with Bobby Bowden after the game, and Bobby Bowden said, "Get better."
Yeah. Yeah, if you don't like it, get better.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not.
Nice pass. Nice first down.
And see, right there, it's 3rd and 10. You got to throw it, right?
Speaking of Algonac taking a beating, my first year coaching the girls basketball here, we had a lot of athletic girls. We put a whooping on Algonac twice, and I never tried to run a score, but we beat them pretty good, you know, at 20, 25 points each time. I graduated everybody off. The next year we were struggling, really young, and it was 12-0 in the first quarter. We hadn't even got the ball, you know, over half court. And I remember thinking, like, looking at him going, like, seriously. And I'm like, you know, he goes, "You beat me bad last year twice." And I was like, you're right. There's some of those ones you just got to take it on the chin.
Yep.
Nice handoff.
Nice run there by Hitzelberger. He gains 9 yards, bring up 2nd and 1.
Just once again, a beautiful hole on the left side. Offensive line has done a phenomenal job. Defense, you know, both sides of the ball. Defensive line's made pressure, got pressure, a lot of disruption in the back field when Algonac's on offense. And like I said, Algonac's got a couple of big guys out there. They're not as big as Croslex on average, but they still got some big boys.
Yeah, they do. And the sidelines are, I mean, they're a team that don't have a lot of depth. You know, sideline's pretty thin over there. But again, we're proud of Algonac. We're proud of them, you know, bringing football back and playing a team they knew they were going to get punched in the mouth. Hitzelberger gains about 5 yards.
There's a drone flying over us.
Oh, yeah. I'd like to grab it.
At the Algonac 22.
9:51 to go. In case you're watching this at home, first downs, and the clock doesn't stop as normal now. It's a mercy clock. If you're up 35, the clock continuously runs, and it only stops for tips, timeouts, injuries, penalties, and scores.
Look, this is nice reps for
Hitzelberger. That one sniffed out there a little bit. A little pushing and shoving there. If you do call it, if you are Richmond and you do call timeout, you tell your kids to keep their composure.
way too many people in the huddle.
Yep.
Ball at the 20. Rooney.
Starting to bring in some more backup offensive linemen in, which is what you want.
We have a birthday tonight. Wyatt Peters, number 18.
You got Browning here. You got cover 2. Hitzelberger to the left of Bartels. Hitzelberger gets it, runs up the middle.
Clean.
Nice hole. churning down to the 4-yard line.
He was 12, 13 yards before somebody touched him. That was nice. They bring in some subs.
Well,
Don't miss a beat.
Yeah, that's you want to see that. Simmons going in. I don't know. I don't like that. And the only reason I say that is he's your stud linebacker. And next week, if we want to beat Yale, be in the game with Yale, we need to be at 100%.
Yep, I totally agree.
They put Simmons in there. It's going to be the power. You're going to see Hitzelberger follow behind Simmons.
Oh no.
Bartel's pass to Simmons. Get Simmons in there for a touchdown. And that makes Coach Scott Simmons below me here. I'm trying to see him happy.
Hey, that play, that's the kind of stuff you want Yale to see on film, right? They got to be ready for everybody because that was a beautifully executed play.
Nice hands by Simmons.
The whole thing, the pass was right in the bread basket. I mean, it was nice route, offensive line. Throw the touchdown, they kick the point.
Yeah. Now kick this one in the end zone. Don't onside it. Please don't onside it.
Got it.
Well, I must be wrong. Tips, because the clock is running. We just scored. So it's timeouts, injuries, penalties, and I think safeties. It might be safeties. I thought the S was scores. I'll have to look that up. Either that or our booth doesn't know. We'll let you know next week, though. Can you do next week? You going to be in town?
I will be in town next week.
I know your world travel. I saw a couple times I was following you on LinkedIn. You were like checking in like Europe and stuff.
We stayed in a place in France, Valenciennes, France, was built in 1560. It was cool, but it was old.
Bartels will put it up at the 40-yard line.
Well, I know what Bartel's going to do tomorrow.
Number 28.
He's going to come up here and punt for a couple hours because he didn't get any tonight.
And number 2, Banana.
Yeah, they scored in every possession except for the one fumble, I believe.
Yeah, you might be right.
There's a touchback. That hit right about a foot short of that back line.
Yep. Well, Blue Devils 49, Algonac nothing. They lost a heartbreaker, not a heartbreaker. They lost a battle last week against, I think it was North Branch, 52-7. They had their chances here, though. I mean, not in the game.
No.
But they had their chance to score down there when they were 3rd and goal from the 2.
They've run a lot more offensive plays than Richmond. We probably just got a little closer here in the second half. That was a beautifully executed offensive possession there. The longest, most plays.
Yeah.
Right, the last 2 possessions. But before that,
Brett Matiunas out there with that.
he was waiting. In the backfield waiting.
He's, I'm glad to see him in there. He's a tough kid.
17-yard line. So loss of 3 on the play. 2-13 now.
But kudos to Algonac because they have, it's BWAC football. Everybody.
That's what
even when you're having an off season, right? You're still you want some pride. What can they take away? they never gave up.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Last year in the BWAC, a big BWAC fan, one of the founders when I was the AD here in Richmond. We were in the STA, and Steve Plunkett, who's longtime AD up in Imlay City, and I.
What are they doing? They just marked off like 20 yards.
But anyways, last year in the playoffs, the BWAC was over. They didn't win a playoff game.
Personal foul on that penalty.
There's pride in the BWAC across all sports.
Yeah, they got to get that Browning over there. I'd get him out.
But you know what? There's if you're Algonac, there are some positives, right?
They didn't nothing sustained.
They didn't run the ball horrible, right? I mean, they had some positive plays.
2 and 4, gain of 6 on the play.
Around the edge, right? I think our Algonac really's got to work on is their from our viewpoint anyways, for what it's worth, is their offense defensive line. Offensive defensive lines were really what took the beating today.
Pastuchin on the tackle.
Ball being spotted at the 40-yard line, so it's going to make a 3rd down, 2 yards.
Good to see him playing, right?
Yep. One and 25 away. You want to keep it healthy.
Yeah, it's been. Like I said, I think a beautiful night for football here in Richmond, especially with the good old days going on.
Nice tackle in there by Nickel, stepping into that gap. It's going to be good for a 1st down.
Brought down by number 41, Nickel.
42's had some a couple good runs today.
Well, if you're Algonac, they didn't score. They were down there. Take some good away is that they were able to pick up some 1st down. They were able to move the ball. Got work to do, obviously, as a program. But again, glad that they're back. Big win for Richmond, 2-1. They'll stay.
Nice coverage by Browning.
They'll stay in the league race.
Now, where's their officials at over there?
I don't know. He's slow getting down that line. Because they were jawing at each other a little bit.
There's been a couple pushes. Algonac's been. But look, this is what we kind of talked about earlier, and I'm not blaming, Richmond's coaching staff, but sometimes those little plays into the first half. This is what is a result. This is a little after-shot, cheap shots.
Well, and that's right.
It's a bad taste in people's mouth.
Well, right here, you got to buckle up your chin straps and go through the line, shut your mouth.
Yeah.
You want to get off the field. You just did your talking on the field. Congratulations to the Blue Devils, 49, Algonac nothing. We're back here next week against Yale. The Bulldogs come into town. Bulldogs are tough. They beat Armada at the end, and they still have to play Croslex, obviously, but that's a rival. That's a Michigan State type of game, Richmond versus Armada type of game.
Yeah, good home start to the season for Richmond, and they're going to need it next week.
Well, this is what should have happened. This is what happened. So it's good for the team. You break down the film. You got 3 films now to really break down, to really tweak what you're doing well, and correct those things that you're not. For those Yale games, and for those Elmonts and Armadas that you got coming up. You got North Branch here, you got Yale here, and you got Elmont here. So you got 3 tough ones here. But athletically, I think you match up well with those teams. So
But the offense, defensive line, the way they play today, if they can impose their will and stay strong against, that's what it's going to take. We're going to have to control the time of possession. That running game is going to be huge. You need to have the pass when you need it. Come out, pass early so you can establish the run later. But you got to be a balanced offense attack. But fun game to watch if you're a Blue Devils fan.
yeah, absolutely. I just got a score here. Croslex is winning 41-28 against Armada, so Croslex is going to stay in first place in the BWAC with Elmont. Armada, this will be their second loss, and Yale. This will be Armada's second loss, which it's going to be hard to win the BWAC with 2 losses, especially with who they got to play left. And in St. Clair and Marine City, 2020.
Wow.
You know, Marine City, how the mighty have fallen.
Yes.
Keith Bartels, Jeff Paxson, Connor Cook on camera. Nice job. We got Coach Noose addressing the football team out there. He had a lot of them in PE. This is great to see. This is Coach Noose's second year being retired. He put in a lot of time, a lot of frustrations, a lot of great time. He is the reason that this program turned around to have this beautiful field. Great to see Coach Noose out there. Again, Keith Bartels, Jeff Paxson. We will be back next week for another Blue Water Area Conference showdown. Any last thoughts, Coach?
Go Blue Devils.
Go Blue Devils. Have a good old days weekend.